My son finally came home today. His urn was beautiful. I mean, as beautiful as an urn can be. It was a silent week while we waited for his ashes to arrive. There was a sinking energy across our home. It reeked of failure. We didn't say it, but we felt it. Like we failed our son. We placed his urn in his room, along with all his other stuff. We couldn't bring ourselves to clear it out. I found myself beginning to isolate. Long nights in the basement just thinking, how could this be? What caused this Montgomery person, whatever, to cast this curse on this group? I couldn't stand it. Was there something I missed? Something I wasn't seeing? The answers were definitely not at the bar, but I surely went looking there anyway. I took Casey's photographs with me and sat in the booth, just staring at what I didn't see before. The operating bed, the tank, scalpel, all of them, well, it was all there. Everything. Wait. No, something's missing. And that's when I noticed. The house. Something different about the house. All the signs. There's one missing. One of the signs are missing. In the front yard. My heart began to race. I frantically grabbed the photos and rushed home. I woke my wife up, her eyes still puffy from crying herself to sleep. I showed her what I saw, and the immediate question escaped her lips, but who? And as soon as the question rang in our ears, something just clicked. We grabbed Casey's phone again and went through his contact information and found the address of the exact contact we needed. We drove straight there in silence. And that's when we arrived at the house of their local hired driver. Apparently, this driver was one of Mel's old friends, Joanne. Joanne must have saw the driver take the sign and said nothing. She lied on the oath. Probably out of fear, out of confrontation or something, but I guess it doesn't matter anymore. We approached the front door, and the smell hit us before the visual of flies covering the windows. Two major signs that no one's going to answer the door. We knocked anyway, out of courtesy, before I put a shoulder through it and knocked the door off the hinges. We placed the neck of our shirts over our nose. The smell was unbearable. We sulked through the dark home, following the scent as it grew stronger and more putrid. We slowly crept towards a room that had a faint light seeping from underneath the doorway. We turned the knob and pushed it open. The scent of rotting flesh just poured right out. The glow of the television faintly illuminated the corpse of the hired driver, his skin slowly fusing to the leather of his armchair. His glasses sat on his lap, which told me exactly where Montgomery did his carving. I turned on the flashlight on my phone and raised it to his face. Carved across his head, over each of his eyes, was the word thief. The sight made us gag. We stumbled backwards out of the room. I lifted my flashlight, and that's when we saw it. Montgomery's sign read, "Stay away." It was surrounded amongst other stolen signs from the area, including a discarded stop sign and a "Men at Work" hanging above the door. It was a decoration for his man cave. I lost my son over a stupid sign. Something just snapped inside of me. I ripped the sign off the wall and I stormed into his garage. I grabbed a propane tank, a lighter, and my wife begged to know what I was doing. I didn't say a word. I got in the car, my wife shortly after me. I drove at speeds that should have put me behind bars. The whole drive she pleaded for an explanation, but I just couldn't find the words. I arrived shortly at Dr. Montgomery's house. I stepped out of the car with the propane and the lighter, and I poured it over the sign and set it ablaze. I then threw the sign onto the porch of the house and watched it burn. My wife ran to me and held me from behind and wept. Our son, gone for nothing. A pain that aches deep in your chest. A pain that grows into a sting. A sharp A sharp sting. A sting that feels like it's dragging across your breast. Oh, somewhere deep. At first, I thought I was the only one who felt it, but when I saw my wife clutch her chest, I knew she did too. At the same time, like something was stabbing from the inside. Oh. Well, it turns out Dr. Montgomery operates on broken hearts too.